survive the craziest landlord ever, all right? I signed a 6-month contract with this crazy dude, and he was a living landlord, and after 3 months, I was gone because I didn't want to end up dead. So I put together some of the reasons why I left the place as soon as I could, and you tell me how long you would have stayed there. So it all starts a few years ago when me and my partner decided to move from Southampton to Cambridge. We had to move really quickly because my partner just got a job in Cambridge and we'd never been to Cambridge. So he had like 5 houses to see one day, half of them cancelled, and one of them was in a house, is a 4-bedroom house with a living landlord. It started with a bunch of lies of him saying it was 4 people living there, including himself, which was not. It's 4 bedrooms upstairs, and then his one was downstairs. So that was a lie. There was only 1 bathroom for all of us, and so we were 6 people at one point. So that's, you know, crazy. And I say at one point because most people left straight away. Honestly, you don't stay there for long. It started with a bunch of lies. So my partner went to the address of the house and he got there and it was a shop. So then this guy came to him and he said, oh, you looking for this house? Blah, blah, blah. I'm the landlord. Sorry, for security reasons, I did not want to share the address online. Like, he didn't even want to email the address. He didn't want to type the address, message, anything. So that was already a red flag. Then he showed the house and everything, and he did say we're only 4 people there, with us 2 sharing 1 room. So that would mean there would be just 2 more people, which that ended up being a lie as well. But the thing is, we were desperate because we did really need to move to Cambridge ASAP because my partner was going to start work in a couple of weeks. So we were desperate, and that was the only house that we could afford and that we found within the little time that we had to find a house. The contract was a huge red flag on its own. I honestly, if you like this video, let me know down in the comments and I'll make a part 2 to go through the contract, because I do need to find the contract because it's a long ass contract. This was years ago, so I had to go through all my old emails, but this contract was insane. There were so many red flags in this contract alone. Sometimes you're young and carefree, so you just, you know, let these red flags go over your head and you forget all about these problems. So we moved in. My boyfriend asked to connect directly to the router of the house so he could play his video games. So with the cable, I don't know. So the guy said no. The guy said you can't connect anything directly to the router. He wants everyone to use the Wi-Fi. Besides, there were 2 routers in the house. One just for the landlord and the other one for all of us. So that was weird as hell. They thought that was weird. But we thought, at this point, this guy, he probably has this, he's one of those crazy people that doesn't trust the internet, that doesn't trust anything online. That's probably why he didn't share the address online, whatever. So, you know, at this point, we're making a lot of excuses as to why certain things were as they were. But we'll later on talk about the internet. So some of the weird things, let's start with, you know, some small weird things. So some of the small weird things, the guy had a apple tree and he had a lot of apples and he was eating it by himself. Like, so a lot of these apples were rotten and he would eat these rotten apples. And I mean, it really disgusted me every time I go to the kitchen, he's eating these rotten apples. Like, that's just gross as hell, okay? But that, you know, that's just a little, you know, it's a lot of little things. But then, food related, not only he was eating these rotten apples, there was a little compost bin in the kitchen, like a really tiny one to put on top of the counter. So that compost bin, let me tell you, sometimes it did have maggots because there was just food in there, all right? I seen him once going through the compost bin and taking a pepper out of it and saying, oh, I don't know who threw this pepper out, it's still good. And I was like, you shouldn't be eating that, like it's been with the maggots in the compost bin. Oh no, I'll just rinse it. And he did, he rinsed it and he used that pepper for a salad. So I started noticing this guy was going through the compost bin, like he is gross. He also would go through the normal bin to make sure we were recycling properly. So he would go through the kitchen bin and take out things that he thought were recyclable. My boyfriend did tell him, you know, mate, that's a bit weird going through the bin. But the guy's like, oh, it's my house, I want to make sure. You know, he was saying like he would get fines if the council found out recyclable stuff in the normal bin. That's not how it works. You might not be from the UK, but that's not how it works. You can get fined the other way around if you put stuff that is not recyclable in the recycle bin, if you take the piss that way, but not the other way around. So, and we explained that to him, but he was not having it. Once again, we thought, oh, he's a bit of a freak. He thinks everyone's after him when no one cares. Maybe everyone's after him. But yeah, so that was weird. So there's one time I completely forgot we had a chicken breast that was out of date. It was in the back of the fridge and it was out of date and I completely forgot about it. Knowing that the guy who used to go through the compost bin, I thought, I'm not gonna put this chicken in the compost bin. The guy's gonna eat it and then he's gonna die from eating this and then it's my fault. So I put that chicken in the bin. Not in the plastic, in the bin. No, the actual chicken breast was touching everything else in the bin. Next morning, I go there to cook my lunch and he is boiling chicken breast. Start making conversation and he said, oh yeah, I found this chicken in the bin. Someone threw it away and it's perfectly good. I said to him, that chicken's been off for almost a week. I remember at the time, I know it was more than 3 days. It was probably like something like 5. And it was in the bin since the night before and the guy just, I can't. He was eating it. I can't. And remember when I said it was only one toilet for 6 of us? Well, the 6 of us, most of us needed to shower in the morning. So by the time me and my partner would shower, it was always cold. The water was always cold. And the guy controlled the thermostat. He controlled when the water's gonna be cold and hot. And at the time, we didn't know much about boilers. Now we do. Now we own a house and we have a weird boiler, so we can choose how much hot water our boiler would produce and store and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure he had a similar boiler for him. So he clearly did not give a shite about any of us. So he just let the water be cold in the morning and then he would make probably hot water for him in the evening because that's when he used to shower, like throughout the day. It's just like he was so pissy about it. And then yeah, it was winter, it was cold and he didn't want to turn the heating on too much because then it's a lot of bills for him. But like we were paying loads of money for this one bed. Everyone was paying, renting Cambridge is insane. So what is he on about? Like it was just, yeah, I was always so cold in that house because you never really want to turn on the heating and the water was always cold and it's just like, oh, like it's just so much. It was just so much. Now going back to the internet, and this was when I decided this was it for me. So let me know in the comments if any of this would be enough for you to leave. So this is it for me. 100% he was controlling what we were using the internet for. He knew exactly what we were doing with our computer. So my partner had a computer and I had a laptop, and he knew exactly what we were doing because sometimes in conversation he would say things like he knew things about us and I was like, I'm pretty sure I haven't told him I like this or I like that because that's what I was watching on Netflix or whatever. And it's like he knew it and it's just, that was weird. But then one particular time, so our doors are not, you can't lock them. So that was another big thing. He came one night, it was past 10 o'clock at night. Me and my partner, we were already in bed actually. We were just chatting, but we were in bed because we had to wake up really early to go to work. And he knocks on the door and we go there and he said he got an email from Virgin Media saying that someone was watching, someone downloaded a movie illegally and that movie was called Split. And he was like, so I'm pretty sure it's you guys, no one else. So could you not download illegal movies? He didn't knock anyone else's door. He didn't ask anyone else in the house if it was them. He assumed straight away it was us. The thing is, I was using this Portuguese platform to watch the movie. He doesn't know this platform because obviously he's British, he's never heard of this, so he looks at the, you know, the title, he has no clue what this is on about, but obviously you can see it's the movie Split that was streamed. I didn't download it, it was streaming online like you watch Netflix. And he knew it was us, so I don't know if it was the Portuguese that gave it away, because I wasn't even the only Portuguese person. Oh my god, this just gets even creepier. There was another Portuguese guy living there. So definitely that was not the reason why he thought it was us. I'm pretty sure he knew who was, you know, who's doing what. But I explained to him, I didn't download any movie. This is a Portuguese platform that you can stream stuff and you can stream movies, and we watched Split online the other day and he was not having it. And I said to him, mate, this was with Virgin Media, and I was like, mate, I had Virgin Media for years since living in the UK, and I've used this streaming platform for years, and I've never got an email from Virgin Media, so how come Virgin Media would complain? That's when he started getting pissy and argumentative with us, saying he can show us the letter, he can show us the email, he can prove to us that it was Virgin Media that sent us that information, and for us to stop downloading illegal stuff, because then he'll be the one going to prison, yada 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 yada. And it was just so scary because he knew what we were watching. And not only that, he lied. After that, we moved to another house that had Virgin Media, and I used this platform to watch movies, and Virgin Media never told me off for using this platform. Like, that was never an issue. You're telling me this was the only house that Virgin Media decided, oh, this platform is not good anymore. No, he knew what we were watching, and he didn't know if it was illegal or not, so he just decided to come and scared us to not use it. I don't know what it was, but I'm 100% sure Virgin Media didn't send him anything. He was just, and it was so scary. And that night, so I said to my boyfriend, I don't feel safe here. He knows too much about us. He gets access to our computers. He could literally take over, you know, our identities. I don't know. I was like, he could kill us and no one would know where we were. Like, I was so scared, and that's when we decided to move out. But the thing is, this was not the only things that, you know, these were not the only things that was my tipping point, but there were so many other things wrong with the guy. His standards on women, wow, it's like he was entitled to date someone as hot as Kim Kardashian, except Kim Kardashian wouldn't be attractive to him because she isn't blonde with blue eyes. He only likes women that are blonde with blue eyes. Did I also mention that he's German? Did I not? He's German, and he did mention his Nazi family, saying that they're not Nazis anymore. Yeah. And my boyfriend is black, so that's another thing that got me really scared from the beginning. I mean, he could be racist towards me, but he could be even more towards him. And I do think he did patronize my boyfriend quite a lot, and when my boyfriend would say something intelligent, and he is intelligent, he would be like, kind of like surprised how smart sometimes my boyfriend was, and the things that he said. So yeah, I was a bit scared of that element as well. And yeah, he was very creepy towards women, because when we were leaving, we had a girl coming in and seeing the house, and he was really creepy towards her, and I'm pretty sure that's why she didn't go for the house. And I'm happy that she didn't get a room in the house, because honestly, he could literally open her door during the night, because none of the doors have locks. Do you see where I'm going? But yeah, he was really creepy towards her. He was literally hitting on her, even though he was at least double her age, and she was, you know, in her 20s. So it was very, very creepy. And like, he was hitting on her. Does he think she's gonna go for a room then with a living landlord that is hitting on her, and it's like not good looking at all? She has no interest whatsoever. She did mention a few times that she had a boyfriend, so it's just all very, very weird how he thought that was appropriate to do, the kind of behaviors he had. Yeah. He was also very cryptic about his past, and once again, if you want a part 2, let me know and I could go in more detail about this. But he was quite cryptic about his past, because saying that he did go to Harvard, he was a very intelligent man, he did go to Harvard. He does, what does he do again? Yeah, he said he was rich, he said he went to Harvard, and during Harvard he wrote a document that he said he's been used by governments. So clearly governments have read and used the information from that document to create new laws, and they never paid him for that, and he's a bit pissed off at that. I don't believe he went to Harvard, so I don't know. But he did work. I mean, he said he helps companies like maximize their profits and stuff and create systems to make them this and that. And he did have a special project because he also had his own business, and he was creating a revolutionary something about pregnancy tests, but he didn't want to go in detail because he was scared we were going to steal that idea from him. Yeah, that was a fun one as well. He did think he was part of the 1% of the world, so he was like up there with Donald Trump, which I thought that was a great comparison actually that he made. He did say Donald Trump. So yeah, when we left, we did tell him, you know, why don't you go to Donald Trump and ask him for help as well, because I do think he needs a bit of help. We had a huge blow up when we decided to move, because he did tell us, even though it was a 6-month contract, if you wanted to leave, as long as we give it a month, you know, notice, he'd be absolutely fine and he wouldn't hold our deposit. Obviously he lied about that as well, and he wanted to keep our whole deposit, and he done some illegal stuff there, but we closed our eyes on that. But yeah, like that argument was until like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was absolutely insane. That's when he actually showed his true colors and was shouting at us and saying that he was superior to me and my boyfriend, and he was shouting at us saying how much of a superior he is compared to us because he comes from a pure family and all that snatty stuff he had to say. But yeah, it was a great landlord. He was really great. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I mean, the argument was huge, and you know, I don't know, if you guys want a part 2, because otherwise this has been a very long video. If you want part 2, let me know. But yeah, I'm happy that we left as soon, you know, we didn't leave early because I couldn't find a house early, and the house that we found, we had to wait for it to be vacant and stuff, so otherwise we would have left right after a month, because honestly, I was hating living there. I hated being by myself in the house. I hated. I was so scared for my life, and yeah, the guy was a creep, and I'm surprised he hasn't come up in the news yet, like from killing someone. Yeah, I think this is enough for part 1. Let me know if you want part 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know which one of these red flags would have kicked you out of the door. I mean, probably most of you will say you wouldn't even sign a contract. I think we're very desperate to sign a contract with this guy. I regret it quite a lot. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and subscribe if you're watching all the way to here. Come on, we're almost there. We need 1,000 subscribers. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. All right, bye bye.